Assalamu alaikum dear watchers, this is Ziaurrehman, your new host on Rasa TV, first time here, and it's a great opportunity for me to be here first time. And again, it will be a very happy moment for you to know about a great personality, Mr. Tabish. So let's welcome him. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Tabish.
Walaikum salam. Thank you, Ziaurrehman sahab. My name is Tabish Zaidi. I started my primary education in Aligarh. I did my 10th from Lady Fatima in 1984. Then I finished my 12th from Aligarh Muslim University in 1986. And then the same year I started preparing for my IIT exam, and I got into the IIT entrance test, and I basically started my chemical engineering studies from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. I finished that in 1990, and after finishing my bachelor's in chemical engineering from IIT Kanpur, I applied to universities in the US, and I got into a university in Texas, Rice University. I did my master's from there, from Rice University. And then after that, I graduated and started working in the corporate field. I spent about 25 years in the corporate field, primarily software engineering, and then here I am. Having worked for 25 years in software industry in oil and gas field in Houston, I feel that I have accomplished at least a little bit in my life. The primary thing I would say is the hard work that I did just for the first few years paid off and gave dividends to me up until now. And so here I am. I would like to tell you more about what the life is in the US and how does it compare with India. And I would like to give my 2 cents, my small input into what I can recommend, what I can advise the younger generation in India so that they can become better citizens, they can be more successful, they can be more professionally, have a rewarding career. And so, that's the purpose of this discussion that we're going to have over here. So,
Well, as you know that this is the interview regarding the education. So, I'm going to ask you a question. What is the basic difference do you see between the education system of USA and India?
So basically, I'm going to talk from the perspective of my own education, which was nearly 25 years ago. The assumption would be that the education system hasn't changed much. In India, most of the schools, they emphasize on memorization and cramming of the concepts. That's a huge difference between how the education system is approached in India as opposed to how it's approached in the US. In the US, emphasis is made on thinking skills. What that does is teaches problem solving down the road for the kids. It teaches how to build new products. It teaches how to troubleshoot. It teaches how to improve upon existing products. So the whole mindset in the US is from the very beginning. I'm talking about primary education of the 3rd, 4th grade all the way up to college level. The emphasis is made on thinking, innovate. Right from the foundation, from primary education. Over here what happens is there are too many subjects that are being taught. Civics, moral science, a lot of history is taught over here. People are taught wars, how India was governed. They're taught about Maurya Empire, they're taught about Gupta Empire, Mughal Empire, the cultural heritage, in the Indian subcontinent. They cover a whole different arena of politics, they cover a whole arena of religion. All of that is actually of secondary importance in the US education system. Very early on, people over there, they realized that the education system has to be separated from religion and it has to be separated from politics. There is no politics involved in the education system, there is no religion involved in the education system. There is very heavy emphasis on developing well-rounded kids in the schooling system of the US. Okay? So basically what that means is they have a lot of extracurricular activities in the school programs. Kids in the 8th grade, 9th grade, they are basically encouraged to take part in debates, to take part in speeches, to take part in sports, because that basically inculcates a well-rounded personality that helps them tremendously in their success. So that's the most important difference between the Indian education system and the US education system. There are initiatives, for example, there is something called Destination Imagination, which is a team competition that is performed at the level of 8th and 9th grade, which is the middle school. So what they do is they build models out of wooden sticks, and they hold weights. For example, they'll build and we are talking about roughly 6 to 8 members of a team which compete among each other. Okay, so essentially they will build a human skeleton system, and within that human skeleton system they will start putting weights on the system until it breaks basically. And the more weight a structure can handle, the more points you get. And this competition I'm talking about goes all the way from the primary school, all the way from local schooling to district schools to state schools to national competitions. Similarly with debate, similarly with speech, every single competition, spelling bee is another one. Spelling bee is another one. Indians do very well in that. And basically all of these competitions, they start off at the local level, but kids are encouraged to compete as they proceed, depending upon their abilities. They would compete at the state level, and then they would compete at the national level. So all of that imparts thinking skills within an individual. And the other extracurricular activities also help you have an intellectual debate with other people. It helps you improve your spelling. It helps you improve a whole different skill set which is required basically for you to be able to succeed in your future career. So the whole emphasis in the schooling is your career. It's not religion, it's not culture, it's not your history, it's what is needed for the country to be a developed country. And advance and advance and advance.
That's nice. Well, we'll move forward for the next question. As the job market is shrinking day by day, what do you think what is your advice to the youth?
So basically the US education system is based on STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering and math. These 4 subjects are critical to any development in any country of the world. Okay, STEM. Science includes biology. Because of that, it includes healthcare. The most jobs in any country belong to 4 different areas: technology, engineering, and healthcare, and oil industry. That's where most of the jobs are. Right. So my advice for the youth of India today would be to always focus on developing these skills. It's very important to be good in science. It's very important to be good in technology, engineering, and math. Math is very important for everything. So basically, my recommendation would be choose a subject that interests you. If you love math, go in engineering. If you love biology, go in healthcare.
It's very informative for our watchers. Well, the third question is, what the world's top companies are money?
So basically what happened was after World War II, US started this initiative of developing their infrastructure first. for any country's progress, the most important thing is its infrastructure has to be sound.
Yes.
Its transportation has to be sound, has to have very good road infrastructure, has to have very good bridges and connectivity between cities. It has to have an excellent system of business centers in every city.
True.
So US started to build cities. Within the cities, they started to build what they call downtowns.
No.
Downtowns were the business centers of every single city. If you go to Chicago, if you go to LA, if you go to New York, every single city has a downtown. And these downtowns are the center of thought, center of learning, and center of advancements. All the corporate offices belong to these downtowns in every single city. So once that was developed in the 50s and 60s, after that, the emphasis shifted to building companies. So you started to see these oil companies, massive oil companies being built, massive oil plants, oil and gas plants being built, massive power plants. They started in the 60s. And then at the same time, there was an advancement in the computer industry as well. So IBM came into existence and they started to build huge computers for the computational power. So earlier all the work used to be done by paper, and slowly, because of the advent of the computers, slowly things started to shift on computers, and then transactions started to shift on the computers, and then there was a need for connecting all the computers. So IBM came into existence in the 60s. After that, HP, Canon, the printing companies, the computer companies, and then you started to see the next phase of development in the computer industry, which was connecting all the computers and making internet a viable option. So you started to see in the early 90s, you started to see the internet, the information age that came about. And then after that, once the internet was mature enough to provide all the services and connectivity to all the different companies in the country and beyond, outside US as well, then you started to see the future development which we see now today, which is essentially artificial intelligence. You see machine learning, you see data analytics because of the explosion of growth of data, because of the information age. Somebody had to figure out a way to analyze all that data, and so data analytics came into existence.
Yes.
So all of this growth was caused by companies starting at a very small level, perhaps from a garage, and then going on to become massive multinational corporations like we see today.
Yeah.
So you see Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Oracle. So this whole idea was actually propagated by people who were thinkers, by people who had vision. So they knew how the world is going to look like and what the needs are going to be for the world after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And they had that vision, and because of that vision, they were able to implement those ideas and build over them. Just because they were taught thinking skills in the school.
Right.
That's where, because our foundation is laid in the schools, our foundational knowledge is gained before 10th grade.
Yes.
So, because of that, the development kept on, and the other thing that happened, America became, in the 70s, it became the land of opportunities, and a lot of foreign skilled workers came, so a lot of talent was brought into the US from all over the world. A lot of brain power was brought into the US, which caused the whole development that we see today.
What will be the top growth industry in the decade and the coming decade?
So the computer industry has matured. The information age has matured.
Yes.
Now we are, in the future, we're looking at artificial intelligence, machine learning. So essentially what humans used to do, we're going to see machines write codes for us, write huge computer programs for us. There's massive growth in the data. So as a result, predictive data analytics, driverless cars,
Yes.
and chips in everything. You may have a chip in a fridge that can detect that the milk has gone down. It's almost exhausted, and there is an automated process that orders milk
Yes.
and it's delivered by driverless car automatically to your house. That's the future, basically.
We'll shift to the fifth question. What is the major difference you find in the mindset of American youth and Indian youth?
So there are good kids and bad kids everywhere. In India, parents have a pretty important role, and the culture and the heritage and religion plays a very big role in shaping up a personality. In the US, what happens is the kids are free in the house. They're independent. They develop free thinking. They develop free ideas, and as a result, they become thinkers, which helps the whole progress in the country. So I would say to the kids in India, just be dedicated, persevere, be hardworking, and focus on your area of expertise. Try to be in these fields in technology, engineering, healthcare. Work hard, whatever you do in life, focus on it, and you will be rewarded. If you dedicate yourself, if you work hard, if you persevere, you will do good in life. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on your own well-being in the future. That's my recommendation to the kids here.
Certainly. Great. It's a great message to our youth. So let's move to the next question. As we know, there are a large number of youngsters preparing for government exams in India. So what's the trend regarding government jobs in USA?
So the public and private sector is almost the same. The education level is the same. They don't hire people based on grades in classes. They do certifications. Certifications are exams that are based on actual on-the-job training. So whether it's a public industry or a private industry, everybody has to certify themselves in every single field to advance. So it doesn't matter. People sometimes prefer public sector jobs because they are less stress, less pay, but they're easygoing jobs. And private sectors are more intense, more stressful, but higher pay as well. So that's the difference between them.
That's good. The next question: job market versus business mindset. Do you think India will move from job mindset to business mindset?
So India is the largest prime market in the world. 1.5 billion people. It's a huge market here. Yes, businesses will thrive, and as the population increases, you will see more shops coming up, more businesses, more small businesses coming up. But I think the real growth, because India is a developing country, not a developed country, the real growth is in the job market. The real growth is in building of bridges, building of infrastructure, improving the technology in everything, application of computers, application of engineering in every field. So you will see massive growth in the next 30 years in terms of the job market. So I recommend every youth to focus on these 4 skills and try to get jobs in these 4 areas, which is basically technology, engineering, computers, and healthcare.
So the next question is: in USA, children can report to police by dialing 911. What is your view on it?
So I think in India, the parents tend to bully and pressure the kids. That's not the case in the US. Yes, there is a facility available to the kids to call police, but then from the very beginning of their lives and the parents' experience, they know this is going to happen. There is a general understanding between them that this is, something that should not be taken advantage of. So the kids know that, the parents know that. In my 30 years, I've never had any child call the police on their parents. Not even once. And I think the reason is the parents give a lot of independence to the kids, a lot of freedom to the kids, but at the same time, parental brought-up basically involves firmness as well as respecting them at the same time. So they cannot have unlimited computer time, they cannot have unlimited phone time. There is a general understanding that the kids know that and the parents know that. It never happens. Nobody calls police, ever.
The next question is, why did you choose engineering? Whether it was parental pressure, or some other reason?
So basically, I was a very studious kid in my 10th grade, and I wanted to explore possibilities from a very young age outside India. And my choices were engineering and medicine. I thought that with engineering degree, I'd probably have better likelihood to go out of India and stay in the technology field. So that's the reason I decided to choose engineering as opposed to being a doctor.
Well, the next question. In India, parents usually force teenagers to prepare for IT, JEE, otherwise NEET. What do you think about that?
Anybody from an average college can do well in life. IITs and NEETs, yes, they are facilities given to, they are given, they're basically Institute of National Importance, what we call INIs. People tend to do well with these degrees. It's not a must, it's not necessary. Anybody from an average school can do well. How much you dedicate yourself in career, in your work, determines your success in career. Has nothing to do with what degree you have. The degree basically gives you the first stepping stone to get your first job. That's it. Your success depends on your hard work and dedication during your career. They're two different things.
Well, the question that I'm going to pose is connected with prestige. That is, Aligarh has been known for its Zaidi. Juniors used to respect their seniors, but now this trend is declining. What's your opinion on it?
I think the respect has to be both ways.
Exactly.
So the seniors have to respect the juniors. Parents have to respect their kids. Teachers have to respect their students. In doing so, they're teaching them respect. They're teaching them how to be respectful, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So the juniors have no binding on them to respect their seniors, in my humble opinion.
We are going to wind up our interview with this last question. In a nutshell, in this era of cutthroat competition, what is your message to the youth?
Work hard, never give up. Work hard, never give up. Work hard, never give up.
That's great.
Start early. Bill Gates, at the age of 13, which is essentially 8th grade, the founder of Microsoft, developed his first program, computer program for schooling, for school scheduling, courses scheduling, basically. Start early, that's very important. If you cannot, it's never too late. It's never too late. Do anything to employ yourself when you are in college. Be self-sufficient. Don't depend on your parents. Warren Buffett, the richest stock market investor in the history of America, his first job was newspaper delivery. He actually established a newspaper delivery company when he was in college.
Yes.
That's how he earned his money to pay for his college. Be self-sufficient, be independent, work hard, never give up. Remember, success may not come right away.
Yeah.
Keep working hard. Sometimes you don't even envision it. Sometimes you don't even see it. But it will eventually come. Sometimes it comes to you in unimaginable ways. Sometimes it comes to you at a delayed time, but it's guaranteed and sure to come to you if you work hard. Please work hard. That's best for you.
Right. That's good. Well, so this message of yours is going to be very helpful and very fruitful for our youth. And I'm sure that if they follow the things that have been said by you, they are really going to be success.
Inshallah. And thank you so much.
And we are very thankful to be here.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks for your time.